Now on to the Capitol Watch. The governor signed a bill that will require work requirements for Medicaid recipients, able-bodied Medicaid recipients. It's been a controversial topic all legislative session. The lawmakers had to find a way to fund Medicaid expansion before they could go home. And today, they're a step closer to adjourning. KTVB's Joey Prechtel is live at the Capitol with what the governor had to say about his decision to sign the bill, to give this a green light, and really to help tell us exactly what it will do. Joey, we've had so many iterations of all of this. You need to bring us up to date.
Yeah, D1, in his letter, the governor said that he appreciates the legislature's innovative effort in allowing people that make 100 to 138% of the federal poverty line to stay on their private insurance if they have it. But he also addressed some of his concerns surrounding the bill. One of the big ones was he specifically mentioned the work and training requirements because similar requirements have resulted in costly lawsuits both in Arkansas as well as Kentucky. A federal judge struck down those states' requirements. Another concern was that the bill fails to use a work and training program. He said using it would streamline more efficient and accurate reporting. Another concern was the fiscal impact. He feels that it doesn't accurately represent the increased admin costs that come with work reporting. Now, we talked to supporters and critics of the governor's decision, including Reclaim Idaho. They're the group that helped get Medicaid expansion on the ballot.
Building this level of bureaucracy for reporting really goes against the lightest hand of government approach that many of our legislators and the governor say that they believe in.
I'm very pleased. That was something that took a lot of negotiation and a lot of work on behalf of both the House and the Senate to try to find a bill that would provide an Idaho solution to expansion of Medicaid.
As passed today, the bill would require able-bodied adults to work 20 hours a week. Now, this will be recorded on a monthly basis, and the reporting will have to be done every 6 months. Now, if someone fails to meet those requirements, they'll be removed from coverage, but they can get back on the next day if they prove that they meet them. Now, at the end of the letter, the governor says that he is strongly encouraging the legislature to look at the key tenets of this bill and address some of those issues that he highlighted in his letter to be addressed either in the interim or after this session ends and before next session or at the very beginning of next session. Back to you.
All right, we'll keep hearing about it sounds like, but Joey, thank you for the wrap up on that. Appreciate it. We've reached out to the governor for his reaction following today's announcement and invited him to appear on our news at 4 today. He declined to comment any further, but did send out a tweet this morning, and it says, "My in basket is empty."
Yep, and as you can see, that basket is for pending bills to be signed, indicating he likely signed the last remaining significant legislation for the session. That's the most message that we were supposed to get from that. The reaction to that, though, made us wonder what kind of reaction the governor has been getting in the office when it comes to the phone calls or even emails. I spoke with Marissa Morrison, who's the Governor Little's press secretary. She called it a higher than average day when it comes to phone calls, but not nearly as much as they saw with Senate Bill 1159. That was the initiative bill, where they saw 3,000 phone calls in about a week time. Well, they started seeing an increase in calls about 10 o'clock this morning. There was a call out on Twitter for people to kind of oppose the signing of the bill. They had 3 or 4 people answering phones this morning, and there was a lineup of calls, but Marissa said she has not been able to gauge whether those phone calls were for or against, and she has been pretty busy this morning with media requests and such, so she hasn't been able to answer that just yet. But needless to say, you can kind of see what some of the reaction is on the governor's Twitter page there. Not a whole lot.
Meanwhile, opponents of the Medicaid work requirements are already vowing to fight its implementation. Close the Gap Idaho, a group that worked to pass Medicaid expansion, says the bill will trap Idaho in costly lawsuits over the work reporting requirement. As Joey reported, Governor Little wrote in his approval letter that he does have concerns regarding the work and training reporting requirements. Just last week, a federal judge ruled Medicaid work reporting requirements in Kentucky and Arkansas were unlawful because the requirements violate the central tenet of the Medicaid program. The judge ruled Medicaid coverage cannot be conditioned on work. Coming up tonight on the news at 6, our Gretchen Parsons will have more on the possible legal ramifications of this bill. And we'll look at another controversial bill the governor signed today amid opposition, and that is the Urban Renewal Bill.